Well, it's between those. Let's look at that. Priority to step 2.
And I plotted out our daily, like the jobs completed by day, and our average is right around 12, and it's not really going up and it's not really going down. So they said it would remain pretty consistent. So I don't see our capacity going up. It may drop a little bit when we go to the next level. I'm just trying to figure out how we can get our lead time down so we can go to the next contract.
I agree. Once we have that, there's really nothing else to do.
No,
Once we have the inventory or our what is that called? The buy-up point. Whatever that thing is called.
This next, I think it's like in a day or two. I mean, on the program, that new order that I put in. So we're going to get 9,000 units instead of 7,200 because we already zeroed out for, day 89 or whatever. So I'm curious to see how this 9,000 unit buy does to make sure that we don't run out, because we're missing every 2 or 3 days. We miss about 2 or 3 days worth of output because we run out of inventory.
Yeah, let's go ahead and boost that up then.
Well, I did. I boosted it to 9. So this will be the first buy that we do with the 9,000. It should happen like within the next 2 hours.
Okay.
But I still look at it too, because doesn't it replenish it when it gets down to a certain level?
Doesn't it what?
It's supposed to reorder automatically, right? When it gets to 2,400 units.
To 20.
Like if you pull up the materials.
The is 2,400 kits, which is 40 batches of 60.
So isn't it supposed to reorder? Essentially, that's the minimum, and as soon as it hits that, it's supposed to reorder. So I don't know how we keep running zeros. I guess.
Well, because did you check out the fact that there's a 4-day lead time on all?
And I think we average about 800 units, which is we'll divide it by, whatever to get the jobs or whatever it is. So it seems like it should be right there.
A day?
Like I took an average of. Let me see data. I'm just trying to look at
60 kits a day. Here's our problem. So we're using 60 kits. So our current lead time is averaging about less than a day.
Yeah, it's right around like 0.73 or something like that, 0.63.
But our current contract has us using 60 kits a day, which is, so if you multiply that by 4, right, times, and then multiply that in addition by, let's see, how much is it in each kit? Oh, so the reorder point is 20. So we're using 60 kits a day. And then multiply that by 4, 60 times 4. So in that time it takes to reorder, we're only using 240 kits. I don't understand how we could be falling behind possibly.
Well,
I don't think we are. According to this, we're not falling behind at all that I can see.
Yeah, but our inventory's right. We're running out of inventory.
Where are you seeing that?
So if you go into orders menu.
Which one?
The orders menu. So materials and suppliers.
Okay.
So if you click on that and then you go to plot inventory. And then it shows, the graph shows you how it dips down to 0 over and over again. Isn't that showing that we're running out of inventory? And if you click on the data tab to get the actual numbers, it'll show Like on day 2.9, we're out of inventory.
Okay.
Day 13, we're out of inventory. Day 14, we're out of inventory.
So you're on customer orders or on materials?
No, materials and suppliers.
Okay. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, here we are. But how often are we hitting zero? How often is that?
The way I'm looking at it is we're missing 1, 2, 3. We have 4 days when we're at zero. And then after the 4-day lead time, we're getting kicked in with our order. So that was the first time that happened.
Okay. Here, okay, so we're hitting zero on day 12.
Right.
The way we have it currently set, we hit zero on day 12, more or less. And then we hit zero. Here, I'm zooming the graph in quite a bit right now. All right, so we're hitting zero on day 12, then on day 16, then on day 22.
Click on the data. So you just
On
see the data, and it's real easy to see on the data one.
Yeah, I'm in the data.
Oh, yeah, okay.
What I'm trying to figure out is why it's happening.
Right, because even when our inventories, before I even adjusted any of the levels, the reorder points, it was still doing it.
Hey, Anna, could you turn off the fan though? That is really loud. Anna, could you turn? Yeah. Thank you. And so I'm looking at that. I'm seeing what you're saying. I'm just trying to figure out why
Right.
and how to correct it. Because it doesn't make reorder point is long before that. So it should be okay. So here's the thing. So we're putting it at 7,000. So we'll ignore the 8,500. That was just the first batch. So we go up to 7,000 on day 32. On day 35. So are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Yeah.
So on day 35, we're at zero and we got a shipment in. And then by day 42, we're back down at zero. It
Right.
should have ordered on day
on day 38.
On day 38.
38, 39, somewhere around there.
So how long does it take before we get to zero? So
it says for 40,
I'm just curious, how long does it take for us to hit zero? How many days from?
Well, and that's the other thing too, is there's no consistency on how much we actually produce each day. Sometimes it's like 1,200, sometimes it's 600, sometimes it's 400. So I don't really understand that either.
So every 7 days, more or less, we're hitting zero.
Right. Oh, are we closed? I think we're closed 2 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you that's what it is. And then when we start
but that
up,
doesn't make sense for why our inventory wouldn't come in. I guess maybe it's 4 business days instead of the lead time. It's 4 business days.
Yeah. So is the remedy, what I've kind of done is to add, I bumped up the orders from 120 to 150 batches. So instead of going 7,200, we'll go up to 9,000.
I would also go with so I don't think it was so much that number as it is. So we're reordering it, and then we don't get it. So say we happen to reorder it on a Friday, right?
Right.
Then we're not going to get it until Thursday of the following week.
But I don't think you can change. It doesn't have any days or when to reorder it.
Yeah, you can change the reorder point. Yeah, it doesn't say days, but you can change the reorder point.
Well, yeah, I've done that. I bumped it to 2,400 instead of
reorder point. I don't remember what it was at before. I would say.
But the reorder point also, we have to be careful, because if we do it too often, it costs us $1,000 every time we do that. So it's almost better to order quantity go up, and so we get more inventory in rather than reordering it more times.
Yeah, but what are our holding costs for it per unit?
I haven't. It's in there somewhere. I forget what it is.
I feel like that's something we need to look at. I have enough data that we need to just start crunching some numbers.
Okay.
I don't really have a ton of time to do that tonight, but I think that
I got a piece under at 5:30. Is there anything that we need to do right now, and then everything else we can kind of do it and then email each other on?
Yeah, and I think that we just need to, I mean, really do that at this point. Is we need to look at forecasting, see what really is going on here. Because right now we really are just we're kind of pulling out straws without having really solid numbers to go with it.
I agree. Okay, so let's do that. I bumped it up a little bit to maybe give us a little security for the next few days with the 9,000 units instead of 72, and that, like I said, that should kick in maybe in the next hour or so, and then we'll crunch some numbers and get some of that stuff that we need, the information we need to make a better decision.
So you saw that our money did go up a little bit right there with this. We just switched to a new day. We're on day 94 now.
I mean, it go to the bottom.
And so we did make some money. That's the good news.
Yeah, but if you look at the actual data table instead of the graph, day 93.204, we're at 0 again.
Huh? How is that happening?
I'm trying to look above.
I'm gonna look at the actual data here.
That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, there's no days associated with it. There's just 4 days, 4 days, 4 days, 4 days. We're at 0 inventory. Oh, 3 days, 3 days. So that must be your changes kicking in right there.
Well, but we didn't get the 9,000 units though. The 9,000 kits. We only got 7,200. So it's like mine hasn't kicked in yet.
Well, there it is right there. There's right there where, if you look at the data, the very last one, we just got 9,000 units in.
Oh, let me.
94.16.
Okay, that's not up on mine yet.
So we have our 9,000 units in, but we're still getting 3 days of
no inventory. Well, that's what I'm hoping that with 9,000 units, we'll cut those 3 days down to maybe 2 or 1. And if that's the case, then we know it's just a matter of our order quantity wasn't high enough.
See, that's true, but what bothers me is it shouldn't be getting 90,000 units in, or 9,000 units in. It should be getting whatever the reorder point is in, whatever the difference between that.
No, it's every time it hits the reorder point, it sends you your new order, which is
that's right, a full order. That's right. Correct.
Okay, so it'll take our cash flow down, but hopefully we're losing those days, and that's a lot of money we're losing every time we pull 0. So hopefully this will eliminate at least 1 or 2 of those days until we can crunch the numbers.
Yeah, we just need to get better at forecasting here. We have plenty of data. We have 56 points of data or more. Yeah. We have 90 something points of data.
Yeah, so for sure we have a good average of like orders. We have all the information we need to make the decision and how to get the lead time down too, so we can get out of contract 2 into contract 3.
And I'm sitting here wondering if that's really necessary to try to get in contract 3, if it's very cost effective.
Well, we have to get to $2 million something to get into the high get a higher grade. So I don't know if we can get it without going to that next level, but I don't know. That's something we'll have to look at. Again,
that's just crunchy numbers. I'll have to see what I can do, go over some of the stuff we've already covered in class, etc.
Okay.
And I mean, just look at your Excel template, see what we can do as far as forecasting goes to try and get that to eliminate the holding costs.
Okay. Yeah, I'll run some numbers, and maybe later tonight or tomorrow, I'll send out an email, and you send out an email if you have any stuff, or hopefully the other 2 people are listening to this cast afterwards, and they can throw some info in there too.
Because another option would be to, just last thought here. Another option would be to lower the reorder point Or I mean, raise the reorder point, but reduce the quantity. So that way we can eliminate some holding costs. But before we do that, we have to know where to raise or lower it to.
Yeah, and if the cost will offset the order cost. Having the inventory on hand, the holding cost doesn't outweigh the order cost.
And we both have templates to take a look at that. Let's just see what we can find. We got to find kind of that sweet spot.
Okay.
And so we have plenty of data now. We'll have even more tomorrow when your changes have really given us some good data to work with.
Okay, sounds good.
I wish it didn't have to be that way, but we really we have to see what's really going on, you know?
Right. Okay.
So besides that, I think we're good for today. Let's just leave it to build up some, so we can see what happens with those changes. Then we'll try and find kind of that sweet spot and do some forecasting by tomorrow at 6.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thanks, Zach.
All right, no problem. Talk to you soon, Mike.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.